held signs and swung color guard flags, and we just really had a blast last year. And so I'm excited to double the amount of money that we raised last year with the mattress fundraiser. All right, so when I basically copied the presentation from last month, I realized that we have doubled the money that we raised this time last month, over doubled it. So $13,860 is how much we've raised so far toward our new uniform fund. And that it does include the $1,500 from the Facebook Alumni Challenge. A lot of you have probably seen it already. We've gotten, as of when I started this presentation, we had raised $1,500. I'm expecting more to come in as it goes on. That means that we have $47,110 left to raise for full uniforms, completely paid. And that includes everything top to bottom. But the really great news is that with that $13,000, we were able to put a deposit down on the brand new jackets and the gauntlets, which are like the sleeve things. So they're happening for sure. We might be using last year's bibbers, but we are going to have like nice, gorgeous coats, hopefully hats too. If we can get that 47,000, we'll have a full uniform, but I just wanted you guys to know that this is happening and I am so excited about it. For the Alumni Fundraiser Challenge, I just wanted to show you guys some of the numbers, some of the classes that have raised. I'm going to share out on Facebook tonight, kind of talking smack about like 1990 classes of the 90s and classes of the early 2000s and seeing if we can get them on the board to play with some donations. So if you'd like to share that out, that would be awesome. But you could see we even had some like 1970 donations and an 1980s donation. So that was really cool. Really quick, there's a couple of positions that we are looking to fill. This one is for next year. It's a accounts payable treasurer. Basically, this is our treasurer that pays the bills, helps create the budget, helps with the prepare the tax information. Mr. Brown says, I need a check, and you write the check and you send it in, basically. Basically, you could start training almost immediately for that position. And if it's something that you're interested in, or you know somebody that's in the program that you think would be great for this, definitely shoot us an email and let us know, because we're looking to fill the position pretty quickly so we can go ahead and get started on creating the budget for next year. As far as positions also needed, we have some committee member positions that we need. So if you're interested in volunteering, but you're like, I really don't want to commit to being on the board yet, or I don't want to do something that's huge, I think a committee is a great way to volunteer. So there are 4 big events that are coming up at the end of the year, and the only way that they're going to happen is if we get committee members and then committee chairs if possible. So the first thing is the end of the year, like band award / party type deal. Basically, you would plan with Mr. Brown and some of the kids' input and how we celebrate the kids at the end of the year. What day we do it, how we do it, all that. We also are planning a golf tournament fundraiser in June to help kind of get a big chunk on our uniforms paid for. It can be a big undertaking, but if we have a lot of hands and a lot of people on the committee, then I think that we can pull this off successfully and make a lot of money in just one day. So that's another committee that you can be a part of. We also have a friends and family show that we're planning for Winter Guard and Indoor Percussion on April 1st. Basically, they perform in front of us, and we do like a silent raffle, maybe sell a little bit of concessions, and just celebrate them and their achievements. But it's something that has to be planned, and we need committee members to help plan it. And the last thing is something that I'm really super excited about. It's basically like our jazz band, which is amazing. I have not heard them, but I've heard great things about them from others. Basically performing a like dessert and dance almost like a little mini concert where you come in and have desserts and dance and socialize and just have a great time and listen to great music that our kids play and just have like a nice adult evening. And it's a wonderful event that we have never done before that I think could be a great fundraiser and just really fun for these jazz band kids. But we got to get members on the committee to help plan it. All right. So if you're interested in any of these committees, there is a link here. I'm going to also send this out tonight. You click on it, it gives you a Google form, and you'll click on any of these that you're interested in. If you're interested in more than one, then definitely click on it. And then somebody will give you a call and we'll start putting together meetings for these different committees to go ahead and get these activities off the ground and started. All right. The last thing about fundraiser is that we are still doing our corporate fundraising. And so if you know of a business or your business is interested in donating toward our uniforms, or you know of a business that might be interested, definitely let me know. I sent out the packet on email a couple of weeks ago, but I'll send it out again tonight as well. Basically, it has all the information in it. It gives them the letter, what we're doing, a picture of the uniforms, what the different levels are, and then how they can donate. Last thing for me is the treasurer's report on 2/1. At the beginning of the month, our starting balance was $21,693 in our account. So money out and money in as of now, you can see that here. That leaves us with a balance of a little over 22,000, but I want you guys to keep in mind that we're about to cut an almost $13,000 check this week for the uniforms. So that money does include the money that we've raised for uniforms, but it's still, we still are getting people's fees in from marching band and that kind of stuff, but we'll keep updating this amount as we go. All right, Mr. Brown, it's you.
Okay, I made sure I unmuted myself. Okay, so thank you guys so much. And before I start, I just want to thank everybody for all the flexibility and prayer and everything you guys have done just this year in general, but especially for the past 3 weeks as we've been on this hybrid schedule. I'm not in panic mode. I didn't go into panic mode at first, but I did get worried when we went to that 3rd week. And so I think this is now starting our 4th week, if I'm correct, Ms. Mullis, on it. And so prayers that numbers go down and we have some more healthy kids to get back on to seeing kids every day in the classroom, because it hasn't stopped our progress, but it's definitely slowed down our progress as it's come to LGPE preparation. Not what I've imagined, but definitely better than things being shut down altogether like last year. So again, thank you for your flexibility in getting kids to the after school rehearsals, as they are now more critical than ever. On your off days or when your kid's not at school, you find a way to get them there and fight bus traffic and teenager car traffic and everything. I just want to let you know, guys, I appreciate that. And I don't take it for granted. Shout out real quick to our Winter Guard program. I know I sent the email out, but they did fantastic at the first contest. And I'm excited to see them again in March in a few weeks here, a couple weeks. So LGPE prep, make sure your students are having some intense and focused practice time daily. They really can't afford to go a day without working on something from that music as you prepare. And it's near and dear to me. Outside of just the kids doing well, I want to make sure that we as a brand program we got something to prove here, that, you know, we are an awesome program and our kids are really rocking it out, because we didn't get to do it last year. We really were going to do well last year, and I think even better this year. So it's a pride thing that's in there as well for me, and I know the kids as well. They're pretty excited about it. So pre-LGP is next week. It feels crazy saying it, but it is next week. So that's why things are intensified and in high gear right now. So I'll plan to finish this schedule up no later than Wednesday or Thursday of this week. The times were sent out over the break, so I'm kind of playing catch up to make sure that I get that information out to you guys. It looks like one of the bands will be able to return around the time that school ends at symphonic band, and we'll go straight back into our rehearsal on that day, which would be a rehearsal day for us anyway. On that, am I thinking about that wrong? I'm getting myself turned around. Anyway, on the March 2nd, symphonic band, and then March 3rd, concert band. And we need a parent to pull the trailer for both days, if possible, to the PAC. I'll catch back around when I turn it back over to Ms. Mullis and confirm the more of the schedule for those particular days. Then LGPE, March 18th and 19th. Specific dates and times have not been released yet. I will more than likely try to get the bands on different days, just because it is kind of crazy taking 2 bands in one day unless you have an assistant director to take one band. But we'll just be on the lookout for more information regarding that schedule or those schedules for both bands. And again, we need a parent to pull trailer for both those days as well for our equipment. It just makes the process a lot easier and faster. And then practice logs and recorded assignments. It's interesting because while overall kids are completing these assignments more, however, a lot of them are turning them in late, and whether it is day late or 2 days late or whatever. I try to front load them a lot of things, if you've noticed, so that they can work on it on their own pace. There's no penalty for turning in the recordings early, or for turning in practice log information early. So I encourage the kids and parents to please stay on top of your student at home to make sure they're meeting those deadlines, because they're all in Google Classroom. And I try to make it as clear as possible. If something is not clear, please bring it to my attention so that I can fix it. I know I'm not perfect, and there's a lot of information I put on there, but if something's not clear, please let me know. If your kid needs help with something, please let me know. And lastly, band, I'll try to hit just mostly some highlights. Band class placements. We will be in the 2021-22 school year before we know it. And I'm sure you probably heard from your counselors and other communications that registration is happening right now for their core academics. So I have a pretty good idea right now as far as where kids will be placed for next year, but I like to make sure the audition results are the formal way to really make sure that information is made public. So I will say that it will be a process that involves scales, sight reading, and a prepared piece, pretty similar to All-State Band. Very similar to what we did last year, but prayerfully we'll be able to do some portion of it in person and another portion of it online, just to save time. But I've tried to make the schedule such that we will have some class time to do it, because I just firmly believe that the in-person format works a lot better, and it allows me to get a true feeling of the kids' skill level in person. So I don't want them to panic about it. It should be something that the kids should be fairly comfortable with doing. They won't get like months to prepare it, get about 2.5 weeks to prepare things. And keep in mind, part of that component is scales, which they've been working on all year. So this really shouldn't be an excuse for anybody to not do well on the scale portion. I think that is all that I have right now. Just a reminder that I've added extra 30 minutes to the rehearsals from now until LGPE for after school. So please make sure you adhere to that. And if there's a conflict of any sort with any rehearsals, whether it's the time extension or anything else, I know we've got some athletes that are starting with tennis matches and track meets this week and next week. But just keep me aware of those things so I can plan accordingly with those kids so that they can have the best situation possible for their outside organizations and the band program. And that's all.
All right, so we tried to get through all that information pretty quickly to get everybody off at a good time. We know it's dinner time, but I'll be on for a few extra minutes, maybe Mr. Brown for a couple minutes as well. So if you have any additional questions, feel free to stay on and ask them. But that is it for us. I hope that you guys have a great week, and just look out for some emails about the committees and fundraising updates.
I got one thing to add there. I got myself turned around. I want to make sure I clarified. This will all come out in a schedule, of course, but so March 2nd is symphonic bands pre-LGPE, and March 3rd is concert band. So that's next Tuesday and Wednesday. So forgive me. Symphonic band will not rehearse that day when they get back. That's not their rehearsal day. So I will figure that out, and about concert band, whether or not they will or will not have rehearsal that day, because that is their rehearsal day. And I would love for them to make sure they're extra prepared for their performance, which will be the next day. So just make sure that your child has all their components for their uniform, and don't wait until the last minute or the morning of to figure out where their bow tie or cummerbund is. Those are things that we don't like to happen on the day of a performance. So, and that's all that I have for now.
Mr. Brown,